Howdy, everyone. It's been a little while. Um, Good evening, and tonight I'm hoping we can all get together and share some positive, do some positive drinking, share some positivity, whether that be, juice or otherwise. And, but first, we kind of have a few household things to take care of. First things first, I want to thank everybody for all of their support, especially through the GoFundMe. We were actually able to pay all of our hospital bills, and we were able to sustain ourselves and kind of catch back up from the 5-month waiting period from when I was getting my full and normal paychecks until now. So my wife Kristen is going to be providing an update via the GoFundMe after the next ALS clinic appointment, which is on March 1st. That's going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be very much so just kind of go through, meet with all the specialists and make sure things are progressing quickly, and to make sure that we are moving in the right direction and doing all the things that we're supposed to. As I've said before, I meet with a lot of different specialists to really talk about kind of everything that's been going on, and that's going to happen again on March 1st, and that's after that is going to be when my wife provides the update on the GoFundMe. Secondly, I have to be honest. I want this stream to not only be a place of positivity, but also a place of honesty. I haven't been streaming lately, not only because of the busyness of the holidays, but also because I haven't necessarily been in a great place mentally to be able to provide the positive energy in my streams. Holidays were weird, man. It was very much a super up and positive type environment, but then I also had some pretty we'll call them the dark thoughts, the dark paths, that were kind of kicking me in the tail a little bit. It was rough, but at the same token in time, I'm just very, very happy that I have you all to support, especially my family, my wife, my child. He doesn't even know he's doing it, but he is the light of every single one of my days. And all of the friends that I have recently come into contact with again. And for those of you who I've kind of been wishy-washy contacting, things like that, I apologize. Like I said, my mental health, it's been a little rough and rocky lately, and I want to make sure that I provide the best version of me, not only to my stream, but to friends and family. And that's not always going to be perfect, but at the same token in time, it's something that I want to do and that I strive to do. I don't bring up my mental health as feel sorry for me or anything like that. It's a part of life that we all go through, and everybody's got their own war to fight, but I don't want this stream to be a fake me. I don't want this stream to be all false positivity and false bravado and confidence. I want you guys to know the truth and the real me, and I think that's how I would best make an impact. You all deserve honesty and the truth, and I plan on giving it to you, at least from my point of view. Now into the good stuff. And good news, I actually have some photos for it to kind of back me up here. So bear with me for just a second. Alright, so we had a very, very busy few weeks. First things first was Christmas. The last time I was live streaming, it was right before I took the trip out to my dad's house for Christmas, and he blessed us with that trip. It was an amazing Christmas. It was our family's first Christmas, as in my wife, my son, and I, Grayson, out there with him. And it was also the first Christmas since my grandmother, my Nana, passed early last year. Um, and Christmas was her big thing. A lot of my memories growing up were from Christmases with her, and we spent Christmas and all the holidays honoring her. We did. We went out there and we did so many things. We went to Busch Gardens to. We took Grayson to Busch Gardens for the first time. It was the first time he's ever ridden any types of rides or roller coasters or anything like that. He loved it, but he was frozen. He was so cold that by the end of it, he was uncontrollably throwing a fit. But the second we got back in the car and he got warm enough, he goes, "Dada, can I go ride some more rides now?" And I said, "Buddy, no way." I think the wind chill, they ended up closing the park about 3 or 4 hours early because of the wind chill and how cold it ended up getting while we were out there. Another thing that we did, as you're kind of looking at the pictures now, is we went and visited Washington, D.C. We did a lot of the museums. We saw a couple of the monuments. It was awesome. Grayson loved it. My wife had never been there. Washington, D.C., at least the downtown district, is beautiful, in my opinion. And the couple of times I've been there, I've loved it. And we had another great time this year. Especially my favorite, and I think Grayson's favorite, was the... oh man, what is it called? The museum that is showing right now, the one of the Smithsonian museums, and to be honest, it was a lot of fun. The picture that you're looking at right now is the White House. They actually had it blocked off quite a bit further. I'm not necessarily sure what was going on at that point, but I do know that my sister and her girlfriend had never, or my sister's girlfriend had never seen the White House before, so that was something that she wanted to do. Another thing that we did is we went shooting at a gun range, an indoor gun range, which was ridiculously nice. I've never been in a place that nice, and I really kind of thought the whole experience itself was pretty cool. We found that, first off, my sister's girlfriend is a really good shot. My wife is a pretty good shot, which, if I ever kind of come up missing, that might be why. No, I'm only kidding. But it was a good time. And then we spent a lot of time cooking family recipes and spending a lot of time in the kitchen, drinking beer, cooking food. It was a great time. And we made a lot of memories while we were out there. And I just want to thank my dad and his family for being able to provide that to us. Next thing, I officially turned old, 30 years old. And even though I've been practicing being old for a long time, going to bed early, not necessarily partying like at least my mom says I should have in my 20s, things like that. We celebrated at Fifth Street Hall with friends and family, and we ended up having a 90s themed birthday party, which was awesome and a ton of fun, and a lot of people dressed up in ridiculous outfits, and it was a good time had by all. There's actually my 90s outfit right there. I actually got to catch up and see some friends that I hadn't seen in like 10 plus years, and it was a great time all the way around. I had a lot of support there that I wasn't necessarily expecting, and I appreciate it more than, for all of you that were there and did go, more than you guys know. Next thing is I was finally approved for Social Security Disability, which kind of ended that 5-month drought for a kind of that stable income for me. My wife did have her job, but it's, as I'm sure many of you know, in the economy nowadays, it kind of takes 2 working parents in order to raise a family. And without being able to live here with my mom and kind of have that extra support, I don't think we would have made it throughout that time. And I mean the extra support from you guys and from family who also helped. And no, Mother, I love you both the same. Quit being so soft. Anyways, with the back pay for SSDI, because they ended up paying me for basically the time that I was off work, and we ended up selling our car, I was finally able to make the move to a truck, which is something I've been wanting to do so basically since I graduated college. I like to do too many things. I like to help people. I like to go outside and do adventures. I really like four-wheel drive. I love camping, all of those things. And those things are kind of hard to do in a Chevy Cruze. So we ended up selling our car and using some of the money from the Social Security disability to put a down payment on the truck. And we got a great deal on it. I'd been looking for months and ended up finding a deal that I couldn't necessarily pass up. And we pulled the trigger. And to be honest, it was great. This truck gives me the ability to go out and do all of the things that I've been talking about wanting to do since I moved back up to Michigan about 3 or 4 years ago, which hunting, fishing, camping, all of those things. And if anybody who watches this has any tips, tricks, anything I need for camping or for hunting or fishing, please reach out and let me know. And if you guys want to get together, hook up, and kind of really go out and see if we can, camp in the woods somewhere or at a state park or a national park somewhere, that would be great. Please just reach out. I love doing those kinds of things. Next, you can kind of see some of the pictures right now. To start all of those outdoor adventures, I started getting some camping gear. You can see the truck bed tent right there. I got some gear from Christmas and from birthday and things like that, because everybody knew that those are things that I wanted to really get into. And we finally tried our first winter camping trip just in our backyard. I wanted to see how Grayson would do with the cold and possibly sleeping in the tent and those things. And the whole day was a blast. We started at about 7:45. Grayson and I started at about 7:45 in the morning getting all of our camping gear set up. And we pretty much stayed outside. Gray came in a couple of times just to get warm, things like that. A few times throughout the day. But we were out there pretty much from 7:45 in the morning until pretty close to 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. And we had a blast. It was a ton of fun. And then actually after we put Grayson down for bed, I went out and got the fire started and raging a little bit more, and so we could all stay out there and be nice and warm. And then it started freezing rain on us. So typical Michigan weather, but it was one of those things where it was an experience, an adventure that was had by all, and it was a memory that I'm going to cherish. I also, during the camping trip, attempted my first campfire cooking, and I made a campfire stew that turned out way better than I thought it was going to. Everybody loved it, thought it was delicious, and it turned out so much better than I thought it was going to. Next thing, and kind of the last big thing that has come up, is my grandparents, who are out in Arizona, who basically I used to live with when I worked out there for summers, and I would go out there all the time in spring breaks in college, things like that. They reached out to me and kind of surprised me with a trip out to Arizona the beginning of March. So I will be out there for a week at March 6th through 13 to see some old friends and family and all the people who I formed relationships with and things like that while I was down in Arizona. And not only that, but, get some sunshine. I think today was the second day of semi-sun we got in 60 days total. I could kind of use some sunshine. Another thing. And this is something that I want to bring up because it's incredible. So those of you who don't know, I'm a certified athletic trainer, and I actually ended up starting a job with WorkFit. last December, so not 2022 but 2021, right at the very beginning of December, and I cannot put into words how incredible those people have been. We call it a work fit family, and it really does feel like that. They have provided and stepped up to show kindness that I didn't even know was possible from an employer. Just as an example, obviously with not having an income, things like that, money was tight for Christmas, and something I don't necessarily want to think about or talk about, and I'm sure other people have had similar issues, especially with money around the holidays, but it was amazing. They reached out and they ended up getting a Christmas list and doing kind of a Secret Santa type of scenario for my family and I. And Grayson got spoiled beyond belief. So if any of my WorkFit family sees this, I thank you guys and I appreciate you guys more than I can even put into words. You guys have been absolutely incredible throughout this whole journey, and I know that my work life and to my boss and my work fit superiors, that whole thing kind of got turned upside down on its head, but you guys handled it with grace, and you guys have been so supportive of me and my family, and I cannot thank you enough. Special shout out to Kimber DiVincenzo. She is an incredible individual, and I don't know where I would be without her kindness and support throughout this whole time. WorkFit is an incredible company, and they are some incredible people, and that I can't put into words how much I appreciate that. So anybody who is viewing, I have one thing that says I have 12 viewers and one thing that says I have 2. But anybody viewing, do you guys have any positivity that you would want to talk about, that you would want to bring up? If not, that's perfectly fine. If you watch this later and you want to leave some positivity in the comments, I would be more than happy to bring it up in next week's stream. And I do plan on getting back to weekly streams now that I'm kind of home. I think I have my mental health under control a little bit. Obviously, we're going to have good days and bad days, but it's important to me that I do this. It is kind of my therapy. I love reaching out and talking with all of you people. This outlet has put me in touch with people that I haven't talked to in a very long time and kind of thought I would never talk to again. So to anybody and everybody who watches this stream or attends live or whatever it may be, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of your support via the stream, via GoFundMe, friends who've stayed in contact or got in contact. It all means a lot, and it plays a huge part in all of everything that we really have going on. So, on that note, I will be on again next Thursday at 7:30 at least. Then I will probably do a streaming session or 2 before then, but I just wanted to reach out and say thank you, cheers, and I hope you all have a great